Hey gang, welcome to the Reluctant Chef. So I am trying a new recipe today, and it is for hikers and for hunters, people that are going to be out in the woods or out somewhere where you're not carrying a lot of equipment with you, but you need some sustenance, some calories and some energy for a long hike or a full day out hunting. So I thought I would come live and just show you this power bar and how to make it. So I am taking 2 tablespoons of homemade peanut butter. I like chunky peanut butter personally, which I've made in my deluxe cooking blender. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our honey, our olive oil, and our maple syrup, and I need 2 cups of maple syrup. So we're going to add those items to our sauce pot here, because what we want to do is we want to get those warm, and then we're going to go ahead and mix it all up with our dry ingredients. Then we're going to tamper it down in our 9x13 baker, and we are going to bake it at 375, I think, for about 20 minutes. And then once it cools down, we're going to break it into like granola bar sizes. You want them to be thick, and then you'll be good to go. So let me just get a measuring cup here. Okay, so ingredients: we need 2 cups of maple syrup. So this is going to make a big batch, obviously. I am making some. My daughter-in-law is going hiking soon, so next weekend I think. So hopefully, I was supposed to do this last week, but I just couldn't get it all together. You know, we have those weeks where other things get in the way of our well-laid plans, and that's what happened. All right, so 2 cups of maple syrup, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm using extra virgin olive oil, and 4 tablespoons of honey. And you hear me say it all the time, but I say it every time I use honey. If you can buy local honey, you probably want to, because the bees are pollinating off of the same plants that you're having allergies from. So you have a better immune system to that. So we're just going to turn this on a medium simmer. We want to just get it warm to like a boil where all the ingredients are mixing together. I'm using our non-stick cookware, which is the professional cookware. It's a lifetime warranty. One of the great things about this I love is that the handles come off. They're detachable, so that you can use this for easy stacking when you want to stack all of your pots and pans together if you don't have a lot of cabinet space. So we're just going to let this heat up for a couple of minutes while we're going to add all the rest of our ingredients. And I'm using our jumbo stainless steel. This is actually the 24 cup stainless steel bowl. I don't even know if they make this one anymore. We have a 32 as well down below. We do have a set of 3. It might be the 24, the 16, and the 8 cup that's left. So we're going to use 3 cups of oatmeal. We're going to use 1 cup of Frosted Flakes. We're going to use 1 cup of raisins. I almost put in cran raisins, but my husband was like, follow the recipe. And he's right. I'm typically Susie substitute. Then we're going to chop up my almonds. This goes over here because this is going to go in that once that all melts. So we're going to take some almonds. I have whole almonds. I needed it for some, I think I was making homemade almond butter for my daughter-in-law, so I have whole almonds. So I'm just going to put it in the food chopper, and I'm just going to chop it up. This is really great if you want to get your frustrations out when you're coming home from work, have a bad day at work, just pound it out. This will make about 1/4 cup, so we're just going to dump that in. We're going to do that a couple times. You can cut it on a cutting board. Oh, I can get a whole 1/2 cup in there. You can cut it on a cutting board if you want, but I just use the case because I tend to be sprinkling walnuts or nuts into recipes like brownies or things like that. So we're just going to pound our chopper, and we're going to add it in. And then the last ingredient that we're going to add to our dried ingredients is a cup of protein powder. So you can use Pampered Chef's pea protein. You can use vanilla or other flavored proteins if you're you know, if you're specific, if you've got one that you're like, oh, this is the one I really like, we've got a couple nuts that are still a little big. We don't want to be crunching on those. Don't want to break a tooth, right? We've had too many teeth problems lately. So I have a couple that I didn't get completely chopped up. You can also use the manual food processor or the blender for cutting and doing your nuts. I didn't want them too ground. I want them kind of coarse in here, so I'm going to use just a food chopper. If I hadn't filled it so big, it would have chopped better. All right, so we're going to add that in. These are all my dirty dishes that we'll wash in a minute. And we're going to add a cup of the pea protein. So we're going to go ahead and stir over here. Make sure that this is getting hot before I finish stirring there. We're going to add our 2 tablespoons of homemade peanut butter. So we're going to liquefy that all. Let that stir up a little bit. It smells good. Okay, we'll let that heat for a second. Oops. And let's mix this. Then we're just going to put it all together. We're going to mix it in this ginormous bowl. Now, if you don't have a really big bowl like I've got here, you want to break it up into 2 smaller bowls because you're going to be doing a lot of mixing and trying to integrate it. So if you don't have a big enough bowl for doing this, you really want to take the time to, you know, to split it up. Okay. Now what we're going to do, and hopefully you guys can see my butcher block, I lifted it up some, is we're going to just make sure that this finishes melting. I just want the peanut butter to be incorporated, hot and melty, and then we're going to go ahead and pour it in, mix it together, and then put it into the baking pan. We're going to push it down. So I'm probably going to use a piece of parchment paper or a piece of wax paper, kind of like when I do Rice Krispie treats. And you're going to push down on it because you want it to be really compact. That way it makes it much easier when you're having to cut it up to make it into bars. Now, we also do have, by the way, a snack bar maker. So I could have done it in the snack bar maker, but I figured I would follow this recipe and bake it in the 9x13 before I adjusted time frames, and the bars are a little bit thinner on the snack bar. So we're just going to mix this all together. It's going to make a nice sticky mess, which is good. That's what we want. We want it to stick together. And then we're just going to go ahead and bake it. 375. Now these could be great breakfast or snack bars for your kids at school. You know, if they need some calories and they're just really hungry during the day, it's probably because they're eating pancakes or waffles or something that might be carbs that will fill them up for a little bit but not give them staying power throughout the day. So you want to, if you're doing baked goods, you want to make sure that you're adding pea protein into your baked goods so that they have that sticking power to their, you know, I always say it sticks to your ribs. When you think about a fire, kindling is your carbs. So your salads, your greens, those all have carbs in it. Your breads and grains, those are all kindling. But protein, such as nuts or meats or beans, those are your logs that you're putting on your fire. Those are going to burn longer and last longer in your body. So you got to have a combination of both when you want to, you know, eat for the day. You want to make sure you start out and you have some protein first thing in the morning so you're not hungry and munching all day long. So we're just going to push this all down. Actually, it pushed down great with my spatula. I don't have to use the wax paper. So, can't wait to try it. This is a new recipe. And no, it's not a Pampered Chef recipe, but you know what? You can use Pampered Chef tools to make any recipe, right? So here we go. Here's our power bars. And I will let you know how they come out in about a half an hour. I'll take a picture. I'll probably eat one when they cool down. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching The Reluctant Chef.